You've been living your vegetarian lifestyle for some time now, and as each day passes, you find yourself thinking more critically about what you eat, where it comes from, and the effect it has not only on your body but on the world around you. At first, your journey was about embracing plant-based meals, simply replacing meat with vegetables. But now, it's deeper than that. The choice to live a vegetarian lifestyle has become a philosophical stance, one that's tied to everything you value: sustainability, health, compassion, and ethical responsibility. In the beginning, you noticed the obvious changes. Your body felt lighter, your energy levels higher, and your cravings for unhealthy snacks started to subside. These physical changes were satisfying, but they were just the surface. As you continue down this path, you begin to realize that your choice has created an inner shift as well. You're no longer just eating to satisfy hunger. You're eating to nourish, to heal, and to make a difference. You realize that food is far more than fuel, it's a way to engage with the world. You start questioning the origins of your food, the environmental cost of the meals you consume, and the ethics behind it all. With every meal, you are no longer just considering taste or convenience. You're considering sustainability. You begin to research the impact of factory farming, the destruction of natural habitats for agricultural purposes, and the depletion of natural resources through unsustainable farming practices. The more you learn, the clearer it becomes. Your choice to eat plant-based isn't just a personal decision. It's a decision that has far-reaching consequences, not only on your own health but on the health of the planet. One of the first revelations that hits you is the environmental impact of animal agriculture. You learn about the carbon emissions caused by livestock farming and the massive amount of water required to raise animals for food. You discover that livestock farming is a leading cause of deforestation, as forests are cleared to make room for animal grazing or to grow feed crops. The realization is startling: every meal you consume that doesn't involve meat is a small act of defiance against the practices that contribute to climate change, loss of biodiversity, and the destruction of ecosystems. The simple act of choosing plants over animal products has a more profound impact on the world than you ever thought possible. You start making small but meaningful changes to further align your lifestyle with your values. You make a conscious effort to buy local produce, supporting farmers who practice sustainable agriculture. You begin to focus more on organic foods, understanding that they are grown without the use of harmful chemicals that can pollute the environment and harm ecosystems. You start to look for food packaging that is recyclable or compostable, choosing products that reflect your growing desire to reduce waste. You even start learning about food waste and how to minimize it, becoming mindful of portion sizes, storing food properly, and composting scraps instead of sending them to the landfill. These small steps in your daily life bring you closer to your goal of living in harmony with your values. But the more you learn, the more you realize just how much there is to know. Your journey has evolved into one of constant education, each new piece of information fueling your desire to make the world a better place. As your understanding of vegetarianism deepens, you begin to realize that it is not just about the food you put into your body, it's about everything you consume, every action you take. You've moved beyond the initial habit change of swapping meat for vegetables, and you begin to see how your choices ripple out into every area of your life. Your lifestyle has become a reflection of your broader worldview, a worldview that values sustainability, compassion, and ethical living. You start to think more consciously about the things you buy: clothes, household items, personal care products. You begin researching companies that prioritize sustainability in their business practices, opting for brands that use eco-friendly materials and ethical production methods. You slowly replace plastic with reusable alternatives: stainless steel water bottles, cloth bags, bamboo toothbrushes. Each change feels like another step in the right direction, a small but significant contribution to reducing your carbon footprint and living a more sustainable life. You start to make connections between the choices you make and the larger issues you care about. For example, you begin learning about the ethical issues surrounding fast fashion, the exploitation of workers, the environmental cost of producing cheap clothing, and the enormous waste generated by the industry. You replace the habit of buying cheap, disposable clothing with a mindset of quality and longevity. You buy fewer items, but when you do, you invest in well-made pieces that will last. You start seeking out secondhand stores, realizing that buying used is a far more sustainable option than constantly contributing to the demand for new clothes. As you make these changes, you feel a greater sense of empowerment. You're no longer a passive consumer, you're an active participant in shaping the kind of world you want to live in. Your daily decisions, from the food you eat to the products you buy, have the power to create a ripple effect, influencing not only your own life but also the lives of others and the health of the planet. One of the most surprising aspects of this journey is how interconnected everything feels. As you learn more about sustainability and ethics, you start to see how your choices connect with larger systems: the environment, the economy, and even social justice. You begin to understand that your actions don't exist in isolation. When you choose to support a local, ethical farmer, you're not just buying food, you're investing in a more equitable food system. When you buy eco-friendly products, you're supporting businesses that are helping to reduce waste and pollution. Each decision you make is part of a much larger conversation, one that's shaping the future of the planet, but your journey is not just about the world around you. It's about you, too. As you continue to align your lifestyle with your values, you begin to feel a deeper sense of fulfillment. You've started to live authentically, and the sense of peace that comes from knowing that your actions are aligned with your beliefs is profound. You're no longer just going through the motions of life. You're living with purpose. As you continue down this path, you begin to realize that you're not alone. What started as a personal journey has expanded into something much larger, a movement. The world around you is full of people who share your values, who are also striving for a more compassionate, sustainable future. You begin to seek out these communities, both in person and online, and you find a sense of belonging that you never knew you were missing. You attend local meetups for people who are passionate about vegetarianism, sustainability, and ethical living. These gatherings are full of people from all walks of life, each with their own stories, challenges, and triumphs. You learn from their experiences, and in turn, you share your own. There's a sense of solidarity in these spaces, a feeling that you're all part of something bigger than yourselves. These communities are not just about sharing recipes or tips on plant-based living. They're about connecting on a deeper level, sharing your vision for a better world, and finding ways to work together toward that goal. You also start to participate in online forums, reading about others' journeys and sharing your own experiences. You find that the more you engage with these communities, the more you learn and grow. These spaces are full of knowledge, inspiration, and support. They're a reminder that you are part of a much larger collective, one that is making a tangible difference in the world. The sense of community extends beyond just those who share your dietary choices. You begin to realize that the movement toward sustainability and ethical living is about more than just what you eat. It's about creating a world where compassion, respect, and responsibility are the guiding principles. You find yourself becoming more involved in advocacy, signing petitions, supporting policies that align with your values, and even volunteering for causes that promote sustainability and animal welfare. As you engage with these communities, you realize that you are not just a passive participant. You are an active force in creating change. Each conversation, each decision, each step you take is part of a larger effort to shift the world toward a more compassionate, sustainable future. The impact you're making, though small in the grand scheme of things, is real. And that's empowering. The path you've chosen has not always been easy. There have been moments, sometimes brief, sometimes overwhelming, when you felt the pull of old habits, the comforting familiarity of the foods you once loved. At social events, in the presence of friends and family, the temptation to give in is strong. You've had these cravings before, the desire for something you used to enjoy, a fleeting taste of nostalgia. But you've learned that cravings, like all feelings, are temporary. And with time, you've grown stronger, more able to resist. You recall the first few months of your journey, when temptation was harder to ignore. At times, you could smell the charred aroma of grilled chicken at a family barbecue, or see the glossy sheen of a burger sizzling on a grill, and it would take everything in you to stay firm in your decision. Those early days were filled with doubt, hesitation, and frustration. It wasn't just about the food, it was about the habit, the deeply ingrained behaviors that had defined your relationship with food for so long. Back then, you found yourself questioning whether it was worth it. Could you really sustain this change long term? Would the cravings ever subside? You knew the answer, but in those moments of weakness, it was hard to see clearly. It was easy to fall into the trap of thinking that just one slip-up wouldn't matter, that one bite couldn't possibly derail the progress you'd made. But what you've learned over time is that it's not the occasional indulgence that matters. What matters is the intention behind the choice. What matters is the commitment to yourself and your values, not perfection. And now, as the months have passed, the cravings feel less intense, more like distant echoes of the past. They come, but they're no longer a source of internal struggle. When you're at a party, and someone offers you a dish filled with meat, you no longer feel the weight of temptation. The old pull has less power over you. You've built a new relationship with food, one that's rooted in choice, not compulsion. And with each successful moment of resisting temptation, you feel more empowered. At first, resisting was about willpower, about pushing through the discomfort. But over time, it's become more than that. It's about understanding. You've learned to look beyond the surface of cravings. You realize now that they aren't about the food, they're about deeper needs, about finding comfort or nostalgia in something you no longer need. When you have a craving, you don't simply ignore it. Instead, you pause, acknowledging the feeling, understanding where it's coming from, and gently steering yourself away. It's not about fighting the craving, it's about understanding it and then choosing something better, something that serves you more fully. You've learned that, at the heart of temptation, there is always an opportunity for growth. When you face these cravings, you don't see them as weaknesses, you see them as moments of self-reflection. Every time you choose to stick to your plant-based lifestyle, you're affirming the commitment you made to yourself. You're growing stronger, more resilient, and more confident in your decisions. There's a quiet pride in this. You've faced temptation head-on and emerged victorious, time and time again. And each victory, no matter how small it might seem to others, feels monumental to you. These victories aren't just about resisting food, they're about resisting the old patterns, the ones that no longer serve you. They're about embracing the new way of living, the one that aligns with your values and the future you're creating. But you've also come to realize that there's no such thing as complete immunity from temptation. It will always exist. Life is full of challenges, and cravings are just one of them. And while you've learned to resist, you've also learned to accept that perfection is not the goal. The goal is to keep choosing what's best for you, even when the road gets tough. It's about progress, not perfection. As the months pass, you begin to notice how much easier it is to resist the temptations that once felt insurmountable. You've developed a new rhythm, a deeper understanding of your own body and its needs. You've learned that it's not about denying yourself, it's about choosing something better, something that aligns with your values. And with each choice, you build more confidence in your decision, in your journey, and in yourself. You also begin to see how much your mindset has shifted. The first few months of your vegetarian lifestyle were marked by a sense of effort, as you had to constantly remind yourself of the reasons behind your choice. But now, it's different. You've internalized the change, and it's no longer something you have to think about, it's who you are. The cravings, while still occasional, no longer feel like a battle. They're simply a reminder of how far you've come, a test of your commitment, and every time you resist, you feel more grounded in your decision. As the months of your vegetarian lifestyle unfold, you begin to experience something that surprises you: the full, profound impact of food on your health. What began as a moral, environmental, and philosophical shift is now reflected in your physical well-being. Your body is not only responding to your dietary changes but thriving on them. You wake up every morning feeling energized, your body free of the heaviness that used to come with the processed, meat-heavy meals of your past. In the beginning, you thought the change would be about avoiding unhealthy foods, replacing them with plant-based options, and feeling a bit better as a result. But now, you understand that food is not just fuel. It's medicine. Your food is a tool, and it's healing you in ways you didn't expect. You feel more vibrant, more alive than you've ever felt before. Your skin is clearer, your hair shinier, your energy boundless. You sleep more deeply, and your digestion is smoother. There's a sense of lightness to your body that wasn't there before. It's as if your system is operating on a higher level, working more efficiently than it ever has before. You begin to reflect on the way food affects your mental state, as well. You notice that your thoughts are clearer, your concentration sharper. You're able to focus more at work, to engage more deeply in conversations, and to think more creatively. There's a calmness in your mind that wasn't there before, and you begin to realize how much of that calmness comes from the food you eat. The clarity you now experience is not just from eating healthier, it's from eating with intention. This new relationship with food also changes the way you view the world around you. You understand that what you put into your body is not just about nutrition, it's about healing. You've discovered how powerful food can be in terms of disease prevention, mental health, and overall wellness. You feel more empowered knowing that the food on your plate is doing more than just filling you up. It's nourishing you on a cellular level, strengthening your immune system, and helping you to ward off illness. But beyond the physical benefits, you begin to realize that food also has the power to heal you emotionally. You start to explore the connection between food and mood. You experiment with new ingredients, discovering herbs and spices that not only elevate the flavor of your meals but also have medicinal properties. You incorporate turmeric for its anti-inflammatory effects, ginger for digestion, and leafy greens for their high nutrient content. You're learning to use food not only to satisfy hunger but to nurture your body, mind, and soul. You also start to understand the deeper connection between what you eat and how you feel about yourself. Every meal you prepare becomes an act of self-care. It's not just about fueling your body, it's about honoring it. You take the time to make nourishing, satisfying meals, savoring every bite, knowing that this is the most important thing you can do for your health. Food is no longer just something to eat, it's something you respect, something you cherish, something that fuels you in every way. And as you continue on this journey, you find that food is not just about survival. It's about thriving. It's about becoming the best version of yourself, physically, mentally, and emotionally. You've Learn that food, when chosen with care and intention, can be a form of medicine, a way to heal and to thrive. As your journey deepens, you begin to feel a strong desire to share your experiences with others. At first, it was about you, making a change for yourself, to improve your health and align your life with your values. But now, as you grow more confident in your choices and the impact they've had, you realize that your story could inspire others. You begin to think about how you can share your knowledge in a way that feels natural and meaningful, rather than preachy or pushy. You start small, sharing recipes and tips with close friends and family. At first, they're curious, intrigued by your transformation but still skeptical about the practicality of making such a lifestyle change. You offer them simple, easy-to-make plant-based meals, explaining how they're not just healthier but delicious as well. You watch as their curiosity grows, as they try out a few dishes and start to ask more questions about vegetarianism, sustainability, and ethical eating. It doesn't take long before they start experimenting with plant-based meals on their own. Some of them even express interest in making the switch, though they're still unsure about giving up certain foods. But you don't push them. You simply share your journey, talk about the benefits you've experienced, and encourage them to explore plant-based options at their own pace. You're not trying to force anyone to follow your path. You're simply offering them a glimpse of what's possible. Soon, your influence extends beyond your immediate circle. You start sharing your experiences on social media, posting about the meals you prepare, the sustainable brands you support, and the challenges you've faced along the way. Your posts resonate with others, people who are just starting their own journeys or those who are looking for new ways to improve their health and the environment. The comments begin to pour in, with people asking for recipes, advice, and tips on how to live more sustainably. You realize that this is a movement. What started as a personal decision has become a way to connect with others, to build a community of like-minded individuals who are also looking to make a positive change in the world. You begin to see how the ripple effect of your choices extends far beyond your own life, touching the lives of those around you. You start collaborating with local organizations, offering workshops on plant-based living, sustainability, and healthy cooking. You participate in community events, sharing your knowledge with others and encouraging them to explore the benefits of a vegetarian lifestyle. Slowly, you start to see how your efforts are helping to create a shift in consciousness. People are beginning to understand that vegetarianism is not just a trend, it's a lifestyle that can have a lasting, positive impact on their health and the environment. As you continue to share your knowledge, you notice that your confidence grows. You no longer feel like an outsider or someone who has to justify their choices. You know that what you're doing is making a difference, and that conviction empowers you. You've become a source of inspiration for others, not by pushing them toward vegetarianism, but by living authentically and sharing your story with honesty and compassion. The impact of your journey goes beyond food. It's about living in alignment with your values, standing up for what you believe in, and empowering others to make conscious choices in their own lives. You realize that your journey has become a catalyst for change, not just in your life, but in the lives of others as well. One of the most profound aspects of your journey is the way your relationship with animals has evolved. In the beginning, your decision to become vegetarian was about health and sustainability, but as you learned more about the ethical implications of factory farming, you began to understand that your choice was about more than just the food on your plate. It was about compassion for the animals whose lives were being taken, often in inhumane and horrific conditions, for the sake of human consumption. At first, you couldn't bring yourself to look too deeply at the realities of animal agriculture. The idea was uncomfortable, and you pushed it away. But the more you learned about the conditions in factory farms, the cramped, filthy spaces, the cruelty, and the systematic abuse, the more you realized that turning a blind eye was no longer an option. You couldn't ignore the suffering that was happening in the world around you. Not when you had the power to make a difference. You begin to watch documentaries, read articles, and talk to people who are passionate about animal rights. You learn about the emotional lives of animals, about their ability to feel pain, joy, fear, and love. You understand that animals are not mere commodities or food products. They are sentient beings with desires and needs, and they deserve to be treated with respect and compassion. This new awareness profoundly changes the way you view your own diet. Every meal you prepare, every choice you make, becomes an act of kindness, not just toward your own health or the planet, but toward the animals whose lives you are now choosing not to take. You feel a deep sense of gratitude for the animals that provide sustenance for plant-based foods, such as the pollinators and small creatures that play essential roles in growing the fruits and vegetables you now eat. You also begin to advocate for better treatment of animals. You support cruelty-free companies, donate to animal rescue organizations, and participate in campaigns that aim to end factory farming. You make a conscious effort to choose products that are labeled with certifications like humane, free-range, and ethically raised, knowing that every choice you make helps to support better treatment for animals. As you deepen your connection with animals, you feel a growing sense of compassion that extends beyond the food you eat. You see animals not as resources, but as fellow beings deserving of kindness and respect. This shift has become one of the most fulfilling aspects of your journey. It's not just about changing your diet, it's about living in a way that honors all life. Your journey has led you down a path that challenges the status quo. Choosing to be vegetarian means questioning the systems that have been in place for generations, the systems that exploit animals, harm the environment, and prioritize profit over well-being. And while your decision has had a positive impact on your life, it hasn't come without its difficulties. The world you live in is still heavily reliant on animal products, and you often find yourself up against systems that seem determined to maintain the status quo. You begin to realize that being vegetarian is not just a personal decision, it's a political one. It's about standing up for what you believe in and advocating for a future that is kinder, more sustainable, and more ethical. You start to research policies related to animal agriculture, climate change, and food justice, learning about the ways in which governments and corporations contribute to the exploitation of animals and the environment. You discover the intersectionality of these issues and realize that the fight for animal rights is connected to larger social justice movements for environmental protection, human rights, and equity. You feel a strong sense of urgency in your advocacy. The problems you've learned about, factory farming, deforestation, pollution, climate change, are pressing issues that demand immediate action. You begin to speak out more forcefully, joining local organizations, attending rallies, and signing petitions. You support laws that aim to reduce the environmental impact of food production and promote more ethical practices in agriculture. Despite the challenges, you remain determined. You know that this work is necessary if we are to create a better world for future generations. And while it may feel overwhelming at times, you take solace in the fact that every small action counts. Whether you're choosing plant-based meals, advocating for better treatment of animals, or supporting policies that promote sustainability, you are part of a larger movement, a movement that, together, will make a difference. The impact of your journey goes beyond food. It's about living in alignment with your values, standing up for what you believe in, and empowering others to make conscious choices in their own lives. You realize that your journey has become a catalyst for change, not just in your life, but in the lives of others as well. As the months continue, you find yourself adjusting to the new rhythms of your life. The initial excitement of change has settled into a calm, steady awareness. What you once thought would be a temporary shift has blossomed into something more deeply ingrained, a lifestyle that's no longer just about food but has become a way of living. The benefits of your vegetarian lifestyle are no longer just about feeling better in the moment, they've transformed into profound, long-term changes that have begun to redefine your relationship with your body, your mind, and the world around you. You begin to reflect on the ways your body has changed since making this decision. The most immediate benefit, of course, is the physical health improvement. At first, the improvements were subtle, sudden bursts of energy, the gradual shedding of pounds that had once seemed stuck to your body like a layer of weight. But now, months into your journey, those changes are undeniable. You notice how your body feels lighter, how your joints no longer ache after a long day, how your digestive system operates more smoothly. You've become accustomed to waking up each morning feeling refreshed, no longer weighed down by the sluggishness that once defined your mornings. Your skin, once prone to blemishes, is clearer now, and your hair has gained a new shine, seemingly thanks to the nourishment it's receiving. You realize that, without even intending to, you've given your body the tools it needs to repair itself. By eating nutrient-dense, plant-based foods, you've reduced the toxic load that once burdened your system. You begin to understand how every choice you make to nourish your body with wholesome, plant-based food contributes to this ongoing process of rejuvenation and balance. But the benefits of your new lifestyle don't just stop at the physical. As you continue to embrace a vegetarian diet, you notice an increasing clarity in your thoughts. Your mental fog has cleared, and with it, a new level of cognitive focus has emerged. Tasks that once seemed overwhelming are now tackled with ease. Your ability to concentrate has improved, and you feel sharper, more alert, and more present in every situation. Even when faced with challenges, you find that your mind doesn't wander as it once did. You feel more anchored, grounded in the present moment, and less prone to distraction. As the weeks and months go by, you begin to realize that the way you relate to your food is shifting on a deeper level. It's no longer a matter of simply making healthy choices for the sake of your body. There's a spiritual element to it now. Every meal is a quiet ritual of self-care, a way to honor your body, the earth, and the countless people involved in bringing the food to your plate. You begin to see food not just as sustenance, but as medicine, a way to heal, to protect, and to fortify yourself for the journey ahead. In the process of making more mindful food choices, you also find that your relationship with food has evolved in ways you never expected. No longer are you simply eating to fill a void or satisfy a craving. You're eating to fuel your body, to sustain your energy, and to nurture your overall well-being. There's a new kind of pleasure in your meals. It's not about indulgence or excess, it's about the quiet satisfaction that comes with choosing food that's clean, nourishing, and ethically sourced. When you sit down to a meal now, you don't just appreciate the taste of it. You appreciate the process behind it, the way it makes you feel afterward, the way your body thanks you for choosing food that it can truly thrive on. But the benefits aren't just physical or mental, they are emotional as well. You notice that. You feel a greater sense of peace within yourself. The act of choosing compassion, of aligning your food choices with your values, brings a sense of contentment. You know that you are living in accordance with what you believe is right, and that peace comes through in your interactions with others and in your approach to life. This journey, which began as a simple change in diet, has blossomed into a broader shift in your sense of purpose. You feel more connected to the world around you and more aligned with the energy that flows through it. As time passes, the mental clarity you've gained starts to bleed into other areas of your life. You become more mindful of your actions, of the way you treat yourself and others. The sense of balance and calm that comes with a vegetarian lifestyle is now woven into the fabric of your daily routine. You feel a deep sense of gratitude for the opportunity to live this way. You're not just existing, you're thriving. Every choice you make feels like a step toward a more harmonious, fulfilling life. The sense of empowerment that comes with taking control of your diet has bled into other aspects of your life as well. You feel more confident in your ability to make decisions that align with your values, no matter how small. Whether it's choosing to recycle, supporting local businesses, or taking care of your mental health, you find that the choices you make, both big and small, are more deliberate, more aligned with the kind of life you want to live. One of the most surprising aspects of your journey is how it's affected your relationships with others. As you become more in tune with your body and your values, you find that your relationships with friends, family, and even strangers feel more authentic. You're more present with others, more able to listen, and more compassionate in your interactions. You're no longer distracted by the old habits that once consumed you, and as a result, your connections with others have deepened. You realize that this journey has not only transformed your relationship with yourself but has allowed you to show up more fully for the people around you, and as the benefits continue to unfold, you begin to see how deeply connected they are to the world around you. You see how the act of choosing plants over animal products reverberates far beyond your own life. Each choice you make has a ripple effect, creating waves of change in the world. Your small acts of compassion, choosing plant-based meals, reducing waste, supporting ethical businesses, have the power to influence the future in ways you never imagined. You realize that the journey you're on is not just about your own growth, it's about contributing to a larger movement, one that will create lasting, positive change for generations to come. You've walked this path for months now, and with each passing day, your vegetarian lifestyle has become more ingrained in who you are. The food you eat, the choices you make, the way you live, these things have all come together in a beautiful, harmonious way. What started as a simple decision to change your diet has grown into a profound, life-altering transformation. You no longer view your lifestyle as something you do. It's who you are. It's your way of life. But as you sit quietly and reflect on how far you've come, you realize that this is not the end of the journey, it's just the beginning. You have changed, and the world around you has begun to change with you. But there's so much more to learn, so much more to experience. This journey you've embarked upon isn't about reaching a final destination, it's about continuous growth, ongoing learning, and embracing every opportunity for improvement. At first, you thought becoming vegetarian was about making a single decision, about taking one step in a different direction. But now, you understand that this decision was just the catalyst for a much larger transformation. It wasn't just about the food. It was about aligning your life with your values, about making choices that reflect your deepest beliefs about health, compassion, and sustainability. In the beginning, the changes felt like they were happening quickly: new meals, new habits, new ways of thinking. But as time has passed, you realize that this journey is not a sprint. It's a marathon, and the path stretches out before you, full of new challenges, new insights, and new opportunities. You don't have all the answers yet. You may never have all the answers. But you know that with every step you take, you are moving closer to the person you want to become. And that's enough. The idea of perfection has faded into the background. You no longer feel the need to do everything perfectly. You've come to understand that perfection is not the goal. The goal is to keep making choices that align with your values, to keep moving forward with intention, and to continue learning along the way. There will be setbacks, there will be challenges, and there will be moments of doubt. But you know that this journey is about progress, not perfection. It's about creating a life that reflects your deepest desires and your truest self. You also understand that this journey is bigger than you. The choices you make have the power to create ripples of change in the world. You've already seen how your actions can inspire others. You've watched as friends and family members have been motivated by your journey to make small changes in their own lives. And now, you understand that the work you're doing, this journey you're on, is part of a much larger movement. A movement for a more sustainable, compassionate, and ethical world. This is not the end. This is the beginning of a lifelong commitment to living in alignment with your values. You've already accomplished so much, and there's so much more to come. Each day is an opportunity to deepen your commitment, to expand your knowledge, and to make a difference in the world. And as you look forward, you know that this journey will continue to shape you, to inspire you, and to empower you. The road ahead is long, but you walk it with purpose, with confidence, and with a deep sense of fulfillment. You are no longer the person you were before, someone who lived on autopilot, disconnected from their values and the world around them. You are someone who lives with intention, with compassion, and with a sense of responsibility toward the earth, its creatures, and your own well-being. This journey is yours, and with each step, you are creating a better world for yourself and for those who will follow. And as you continue on this path, you know one thing is certain: the best is yet to come.